Good evening, YouTube. HeirofCarthage here, loading into an online battle. We'll do this live and then maybe take a look at the footage afterwards. So yeah, I just start things off while we're waiting on this to load. Appreciate you all for viewing. If you enjoy the videos and you want to see more, there's a logo of mine in the bottom right-hand corner of the video. You can click there to subscribe if you want to keep up with new videos. Like I said, appreciate you watching. Again, as always, I want to thank MSI for helping to sponsor this build that I can record this on. And let's get down to business. Roll some Empire Knights out on the flanks. I want a good, nice wide spread. Got a light wizard and a griffin here. I'm gonna use my steam tank as kind of a ranged weapon to start the battle off. My opponent, we sat around for a couple of minutes in the lobby, and I went ahead and readied up. I didn't say, "Are you ready?" or anything like I probably should have. And he let the countdown go all the way until he's done, so hopefully he got to actually pick his army here. I try and give people enough time. Felt like it was plenty of time. Maybe I was wrong. We'll see. I'll give him a minute here before I ready up, just to make sure he gets time to be ready here. We can kind of use these rocks to help protect flanks. It's not a bad spot to be. Swing right around. Actually, let's pull with... Okay. Like I said, we'll see if he readies up. So, my army, I got 4 great swords, 4 spearmen. I'm rolling a light wizard, and I've got 4 spells. Banishment, just so I have some kind of magical damage spell. I've got Shim's Burning Gaze and the Net of Amantok. And then I've got a couple Empire Knights, and my only range support is this tank. And I say only, it's quite expensive range support, so... should get the job done. Handgunners would have also probably been a pretty appropriate pick versus the Chaos Warriors. I took Empire Knights. They're not the greatest thing, but they're pretty decent. And if I end up having to trade against Chaos Cavalry, they should trade pretty cost efficiently because Chaos Cavalry is rather overpriced. I don't know if he's going to ready up or what, so I'm going to go ahead and start. So maybe you all think that I'm a little too hasty here, but I definitely don't have all day. I don't know if he's AFK or what, because like I said, he switched factions, so I don't think he's AFK. He switched from Beastman to Chaos. I'm certainly a little slow in readying up. Has he typed something to me? Nope. Alright, just double checking, because I got my recording stuff that's up over the top of... Okay, so no, he did deploy here. And he has deployed... Let's pull back just a little bit like this. Yes, General. He's got poisoned Chaos Warhounds. My Empire Knights should be able to easily defeat him. Let's check the rest of his army. Marauders with great weapons. Chaos Warriors as a front line. He's got a Gore Beast Chariot. I'm going to target that with the tank. Because that Gore Beast Chariot does concern me a bit. Chosen in the back. Chaos Warriors with halberds. Who's this? He's got a wizard. He's got Archaon. What the heck? What are the chances? And it looks like he's got the Cascading Fire Cloak and then the one that buffs up the weapon damage. What did I misclick there? Holy misclick. It's a good thing Chaos doesn't have any missiles. Alright, so I'm attacking the Gore Beast Chariot, doing a little bit of damage so far. Gore Beast Chariot is, like I said, a bit of a concern to me. My spears are going to die a loathsome, pathetic death. I wonder if he would let me catch his Chaos Warhounds with poison. I'm going to give him a chase real quick while I still have time. Keep my line spread out thin. Not scoring a whole lot of hits here with my tank because I think it's firing at the wrong target. Yeah, he didn't catch this one though, so I'm going to get a straight out charge there and annihilate those. These ones he's running away, so let's not chase, but we wipe out this Chaos Warhound with poison. I'm going to let my guys finish it off real quick. Ooh. Ooh, scored another good hit there. Let's get the steam tank back. I've got plenty of winds of magic. Let's actually not spin up the banishment yet. Save that one. Let's get my Empire Knights back. Where did his chaos... I don't know where his poison hounds got off to. They are hidden temporarily from my line of sight. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for him to pros me because the chaos player doesn't have a whole lot of other resources at his ready. Let's turn this thing around. Going to fire at will. I'm going to go ahead and approach his main line. Swing the cavalry in. And I'm going to net of Ammontok right here in the center. Let's move up the tank. Should be able to swing around here. I got really good charges with my great swords because of the... Let's keep one spearman free, attack these guys. Let's swing in a rear charge here. So let's get away from those chosen. Let's get into the back of these marauders real quick. Let's keep his Chaos Warriors with halberds busy for a moment. Okay, great swords absolutely pummeled through the front line. And here he's going to commit his chariots. Let's bring our steam tank over to try and stop the chariots. Got an extra unit of spears just waiting around. I'm going to just keep my... Let's find another place for a rear charge. Actually, it looks like we don't need it, except for maybe over here where we got some chosen. Where's my steam tank at? Okay, steam tank caught his Gorby's chariot, and it's doing some pretty considerable damage. It's good that we'll get them off the field. Empire Knights need to remove themselves from this combat. Great swords engaging the halberds. Just pull away from that fight. Got more spears waiting. Let's get out of the chosen here and try and spin up another charge. Get away from that. Okay, the Gorby's chariot is trying to keep moving. It's getting hit with the steam gun. Let's tie down these warriors with halberds. That rear charge right there was certainly problematic. Let's rear charge here real quick, and let's... No, don't rear charge the halberds. Go back to the chosen. Let's see if we can beef up the leadership of my men here. Alright. Let's just shoot these halberds in the back real quick. Let's try and tie down the chariots. Got a nice rear charge into the Chaos Warriors right there. I'm going to beef up my men again. The rear charge from the Empire Knights right there was successful. And these great swords are now free. Chaos just is going to struggle on any day of the week, any time to trade with. Let's net these guys down. Gonna tie them in place. And let's pull the Light Wizard up and drop a banishment right on top of these guys. See if we can get rid of them. Oh yeah, that's working great. Let's get our steam tank away from the banishment. Oh wow, just got completely caught over here. Oh well, just go for it. Chase the halberds. Let's get my general over here. Okay, his warhounds were over there somewhere. Finally came back. Let's attack our Kaon with the tank. Well, he may be able to outrun me, but let's attack him nonetheless. His Gorby's chariot's got 55 kills. I'm going to try and put an end to that with my general. Okay, got another great swords free over here. Let's start coming back towards this. So our Kaon's getting hit by the steam tank.
Magic will protect.
Okay, popped our Kaon with a Shim's Burning Gaze right there, and that ought to help finish him off. Let's see. So that's going to be a Pyrrhic victory, but it was a pretty clear victory, honestly. Like I said, Chaos against Empire, and I picked Empire while he was still Beastman, and he switched over to Chaos, so not something that I recommend. I didn't get that save, so we'll just go into the auto replay. So in terms of army choice, Chaos Warriors with Halberds, definitely a solid choice. The Empire fields cavalry, and you're going to have to fend them off. Chaos Warriors, a questionable choice because you may be up against great swords. Chosen, very expensive, and again questionable is what you're going to get out of those guys. So let's just kind of go take a look. Again, if you look at my infantry here, able to clean up plenty of kills. The steam tank able to do what it needs to. Cavalry able to roam at will. Light wizard just absolutely wreaks havoc. So if I were going to take a look at his build, seems like when he came in here to Chaos, so he definitely, or I say definitely, I would have picked Kolek Sun Eater every time. The other possibility is that you could bring the Everwatcher. He's pretty decent in melee, and he causes terror. He's unbreakable. He has the lore of metal, which in and of itself may not seem like it's a huge deal, but the lore of metal does really wreck enemy units if used properly. Like if you look here, for 30 seconds they get minus 22% weapon damage and melee attack. That would be a big deal if you're fighting great swords. And then you've got this... oh, what is it here? Gehenna's Golden Hounds isn't too bad if you can cast it right, but this right here, this Plague of Rust, it only says one enemy though, so that may not be a big deal. Yeah, never mind. Alright, so Lore of Metal, pretty crappy. So I would have gone with Kolek Sun Eater. And then, I mean, again, if you think about what you're going to be up against from the Empire, a Light Wizard is pretty certain. So you're going to have to try and do something about the Light Wizard. You can bring your own Death Sorcerer or a Fire Sorcerer, something to try and chase off that Light Wizard. Exalted Hero on a Manticore might be one option, albeit pretty expensive. I mean, the biggest problem for Chaos is they just can't trade cost effectively with great swords. They just can't. There's nothing they have that's going to trade effectively there. So, I mean, Chaos Warriors with great weapons are probably the best picked. The swords are better, but like you saw, what I did with the Net of Amontok is going to be tough for them to counter. I think the Gorebeast Chariot is probably not the best pick because it requires too much babysitting. So it is pretty cheap compared to some of their other cavalry options, but again, it requires all the babysitting. So maybe a better spend rather than the Gorebeast Chariot would have been on something like Chaos Spawn or some Chaos Trolls or something that may have helped him get more damage done. The Warhounds with Poison 2 to me seem too expensive for a throwaway unit against the Empire, who is going to be running cavalry advantage, so I would have foregone the spend on them and just gone with more infantry. So maybe something more like this, where he's going to come in here with Chaos great weapons, because I mean, I had some of these. He can try and match me in the center. Now this is where it gets tricky, because Chaos just isn't going to trade, like I said, very cost effectively. It's pretty obvious that the Empire is probably going to have Spearmen too, and Chaos Marauders are a decent trade versus Spearmen. So you could bring something like this. Let's go into the large fund so we can simulate this. So here I've got a mainline infantry and something. Again, this is knowing that I would pick the kind of army I did. Now, the tank being there is going to be a problem. Honestly, a good counter to a tank is certainly, I mean, a Chaos Giant can do some pretty good work, or a Dragon Ogre, like a Shaggoth like Kolek here could also help bring down a tank. So I'm just trying to think of how you deal with the Light Wizard, since you don't really have ranged units, so to speak. I don't know if Spirit Leech may be your best option, honestly. So if we put this guy on a Warhorse, Power Reserve, Spells. So if we just left him Spirit Leech, take away that Leadership spell, that Soul Blight Hex really isn't bad. Son of Xerxes, get rid of that, and then Fate of Buna is actually still helpful against the Empire. It's not as good against Demigryph Knights, but it's probably still pretty decent against units like Empire Knights. So something like that, and then if I were going to pick the rest of the Chaos Army, I got 3,600 left. So something like these Armored Trolls, maybe a couple of those to try and bust through lines. because they're relatively quick moving. So you can match my main line, you can go after my spears. Kolek can try and be the game changer. You got the Death Sorcerer to support. Got a couple of these, like I said, the Chaos Trolls. I don't think it would ever be worth it to bring the cannon. So, I mean, it is possible you could run into some skirmishers wherein, you know, like some standard Chaos Warhounds might be helpful. Got the Chosen. Would it be good to bring an Exalted Hero? Probably. You know, I might forego the Warhounds, like I said, because they're just going to have the cavalry advantage. Oh, you're going to need some halberds. So, yeah, I would forego the Trolls. Maybe go with, like, a Chaos Warriors with halberds to help deal with cavalry. And then you would have something like, I think an Exalted Hero, honestly, might be pretty handy. Could put him on a Manticore. At the very least, the Manticore, I think, travels at the same speed that the Griffin does. Speed and Vigor, charge bonus. I don't even know if you need either of those. You could just save some money. Melee attack, immune to psychology. Yeah, I mean, so you could just, at 1200 here, you'd at least get a flying unit to help you out where needed. Then you have a little bit of money left. I mean, you could throw in another Chaos Marauder or something like this. So this army would have been a better counter. I don't know if it's a perfect counter, but there's just some thoughts. Let's go back and get some close-ups on some of the stuff that was happening there. I want to see some of the engagements close up. The tank is obviously pretty optional, and you don't see it a lot, which is part of the reason why I went ahead and brought it, is because I'm guessing the Chaos Warriors... What is with the lighting? It wasn't like this when I played a minute ago. That is so weird. Anyway, so yeah, let's see. I'm gonna fast forward. Yeah, the lighting was not this funky a minute ago, so this replay is already kind of bogus. It's like you're gonna be fighting in the dark. Look at this. This is terrible. Does anybody know why this happens? Was it like this during the battle? I don't remember. I thought I remembered it being lighter than this. Maybe it's like a different time of day or something here in the replay. So, alright, yeah, the net of Ammon talk right there. So these Chaos Warriors are going to lose the charge badly, and these ones are going to get absolutely crushed on the charge because they're just Marauders with great weapons, and then these Chaos Warriors here are going to get smashed on the charge by great swords too. So that's pretty brutal. The Chaos Warriors to take that kind of damage on the charge and not be dealing any in return. So the great swords got very favorable engagements. Steam Tank did quite a bit of damage to the Gore Beast Chariot before combat ever started, and then my cavalry are going to keep his halberds away from combat. So you can see I'm just refusing to engage because I know I'm winning the fight in the center. The quick rear charge with the Blood Roar here, knocking out the Marauders for good. That's going to bring our Kaon in, who's going to get tangled up. He's bringing in more Chaos Warriors and the Gore Beast. Right now I was just obviously trying to hold the tank in reserve, because there's no reason for me to rush it in. Light Wizard, we can kind of just save his magic for what's necessary. Yeah, I'm going to have to keep running away from the halberds. I think they catch me for just a moment here. Yeah, no reason for me to rush the knights in here and get them killed. These guys are going to have to pull away, which I do here in a moment if you remember right. Here comes the Griffin again for the rear charge into these Chosen. So the Chosen going to take some pretty nasty charge damage there. Chosen, definitely not a cost-effective trade versus great swords. They don't have great weapons. The great swords have a bonus versus infantry and good armor piercing. So a nasty charge there from the Chaos Warriors. I was trying to clear these Chaos Warriors out of the way so that my Empire Knights could get a clean shot at the Warriors with halberds, who are losing fiercely to my men right now. Steam Tank. Let's see. I was moving over here to the Gore Beast. I believe that's what I was doing at least. Let's take a look at our Kaon up close. This Flaming Sword does look pretty cool in the dark there, although still not a big fan of this lighting scheme. Here comes my Empire Knights crushing into the back of these halberds, who were already being slain by the great swords. And the Chosen once again being bushwhacked by the Imperial Griffin. So they get wrapped up, and it looks like that's going to be pretty much all she wrote for the Warriors of Chaos, other than a few remaining units like our Kaon. So yeah, the Chosen are always a questionable choice right now, in my opinion, with Chaos, depending on who you're coming up against. Against the Empire, they are, because Great Swords are just such a better unit. There's just, I mean, Great Swords are a better unit than pretty much everything in Chaos. Let's check out this net, and then I'm about to banish these guys, so this is pretty sweet. These spells look so cool. This caused quite a bit of damage to this unit, because it kind of just hovered right there on top of him. Which I got pretty lucky to that extent that it just kind of stood right there on top of him. But yeah, it did some pretty decent damage. Got me a few kills. Comes the poison warhounds into the back of my spearmen. I don't know where those guys were, but they were hidden from me. So Chaos will actually get the better of that engagement, of course, because it's just a temporary deal. Look at Archaon getting smacked with the steam gun here. He's going to try and get run down by the steam tank, who does catch him. I wonder if his magical damage does very good versus the steam tank. He didn't get any attacks, he just ran away from it. He's about to get hit by a Shim's Burning Gaze. That's a pretty nasty hit there from Shim's Burning Gaze. Archaon gets a pretty sweet looking charge there with his flaming sword before looks like my opponent admitted defeat. So hope y'all enjoyed this battle. I think the main lesson here is don't pick Chaos against Empire, because there's not a lot you can do. Like, if you just want to try and have fun, you can, but I mean, you're gonna have to really think about that if you pick Chaos versus Empire and come up with something creative, in my mind. And that's the problem with Chaos, is they are not very creative. Tell me what you think about Chaos versus Empire. Do you think they stand a chance? If so, how would you make it happen? HeirofCarthage signing out. Hope y'all enjoyed it.